I want to go into this concept of a paradigm. This is a fundamentally important point to the message I want to get across. Who is this guy right here? George Washington, first President of the United States of America, for those of you from north of the border. Can anybody in here tell me what George Washington died from?
Bleeding.
What's that?
Bleeding.
Bleeding. Okay, excellent. Anybody want to add to that? Any other thoughts? Okay, yeah, that's exactly where we're headed. I'm going to tell you the story. There's a lot of misconceptions out there that it was because of his bad false teeth. I've even heard syphilis. I've heard all kinds of things. Sometimes people will say pneumonia, which is probably pretty close to the truth, but bleeding had a lot to do with it. Okay, here's the story. George Washington went out, I believe it was on December 10th or December 11th, in Virginia, on his horse's back, to inspect his properties. He went out in the morning. He stayed out longer than he should have. The weather got really bad. He caught a cold. He came back that day. It was on a Thursday. He wasn't feeling really well. So he wasn't feeling well. He also didn't finish all of his inspections. So he goes out again Friday morning. Horrible weather again. He comes back mid-morning on Friday. He's feeling really bad. So he comes back and he goes to bed. And he's feeling worse and worse and worse. He's starting to have trouble breathing and everything. So at about 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, he called the only person on his property there that knew how to administer the procedure of bloodletting. Okay? And that person came to administer it. Now, this was a paradigm, because at that point in time, the paradigm was illness is caused by bad blood. So if you let some of the bad blood out, you're going to feel what? Better. How do we look at that today? It's insane, right? Now that we know how blood actually works and all that. Well, anyway, he was feeling really bad, so he said to his assistant, man, bleed me a lot. Now, Martha didn't think this was a really good idea, George's wife. And I got to tell you guys, in my life experience, whenever my wife thinks something really isn't a good idea, she's usually been right. So the next time, guys, you want to make a decision and your wife really doesn't think it's a good idea, pay attention. Well, George didn't pay attention. And he said to the guy, bleed me a lot, so he bled him. About 8 o'clock in the morning, the doctors from the village, 3 doctors, show up. They bleed him 3 more times. And by about 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, President George Washington was dead. Killed by the cutting edge, that's a good play on words, isn't it? Medical paradigm of the day. Now, here's what I want to tell you about human performance. Human performance, for the most part, has been approached from the top down. Do this because I said so, because I'm the boss. Here are the new expectations. Gosh darn it, there are the tools. You use them or you're going to get whacked. Here's what I'm going to tell you about that. That old school paradigm of from the top down, do this because I said so, because I'm the boss, is as outdated today as bloodletting. You will never achieve and sustain next level human performance with that approach. So the new paradigm, or the old approach here, again for another title, is managing people like things. And again, in our technical environments, it's been very easy for us to do because we're technically oriented people. And that touchy-feely, squishy human stuff, oh my goodness. People should just be inside of a box, and if we tell them to do this, they got to do it, right? Well, guess what? It doesn't work. So that's the old paradigm. The new paradigm is this approach that we call practicing perfection. Now, real quickly, let me do a clock check here. Real quickly, oh man, I'm always way over where I think I should be. So I want to do a little survey in here. And I want to see a show of hands. And if you would please hold your hands up long enough to let me survey the whole room. I want you to answer this question. How many of you have, at some point in the last 5.5 days, let's make it 6 days. In the last 6 days, how many of you have made a mistake? Can I see a show of hands, please? Okay, hold them up so I can survey the room. All right, okay. All right, very good. You can put your hands down. Thank you very much. I am happy to see that virtually everybody in here raised their hands, and I'm going to tell you why. I have done this little informal survey, literally, all over the world with tens of thousands of people, and I have made a discovery. I have discovered that people that don't raise their hands when I ask that question, they lie about other things too. Because we've all made mistakes. We're all going to continue to make mistakes because human beings are what? What's the word? Fallible, which means on any given day, any one of us can make a mistake. As Tony told us, just by being awake, we're making 3 to 4 mistakes per hour on average. I think my rate's a lot higher than that, personally. Okay. I'm going to save this till later. I want to get to this. All right, now, I told you earlier, and you've got to fill in the blank piece in your handout, and I highly recommend that you focus. Were you the one talking about the spotlight? Focusing mental energy? Now's the time to focus. Because what I'm going to teach you now is how to influence another person to do anything you want them to do. This approach is so powerful. This is the same technique that Adolf Hitler used to do what he did. This is also the same technique that Gandhi used to do what he did. This approach, this technique. Yes?
Some people might have a hard time finding some page 5 on the handout because it doesn't show them.
Oh my goodness. It doesn't show the graphics didn't come through. I apologize for that. So you may just want to make some scribbles as we go through it. I'm going to do it up on the screen instead of, I normally like to teach this on a flip chart, but for the sake of time I'll do it up on the screen. So the whole point is, this technique can be used for incredibly good purposes, or it can honestly be used for evil purposes. And because of that, before I teach it to you, I must get a solemn commitment from everyone in this room that you're only going to use this for good. Do I have your commitment on that? All right. Now, terminology. When you use this approach to influence the behavior of another human being in a win-win situation, we call that influence. On the other hand, if you use this for some personal gain at the other person's expense, we call that manipulation. And you have all just agreed the only thing you're going to use this for is influence, correct? Win-win. It must be win-win. If I have any dissenters, just get the heck right out of here right now because I'm not teaching it to you. All right, here we go. This is what it looks like. So if you want to draw a pyramid, and then we're going to put some stuff inside of the pyramid there. So draw a nice big pyramid. What this is a mental model of what's going on inside each and every one of us over and over and over and over and over all the hours that we're awake. Well, we're making those 3 to 4 mistakes per hour just by being awake, okay? This is what's going on inside of us. First of all, we have thoughts. Some of those thoughts generate feelings. Feelings manifest as behaviors, and it's our behaviors in life that determine our results in life. Thoughts generate feelings. Feelings manifest as behaviors. Behaviors determine results. Thoughts and feelings, as you see over on the right-hand side, are those internal or external? Thoughts and feelings? Internal, right? Behaviors and results? External. Okay, so that's what you fill in over there. Thoughts generate feelings. Feelings manifest as behaviors. Behaviors determine results. Now, where did I say this is going on? Inside the individual, right? What are we interested in doing? Influencing what? Ultimately, the behaviors of that individual, right? Are we inside the person or outside the person? We're outside the person, so we're external.